woman lived with her only son, Jack. Their humble cottage and cow were their only possessions. One morning the cow did not give milk. Jack, you must take the cow and sell her, said his mother. So Jack harnessed the cow and set off to town, and along the way he met a man. Good day, where are you going this morning? Asked the man. I'm going to town to sell my cow, Jack answered. I would be happy to buy your cow and save you the trip, said the man. How much will you give me? Asked Jack. I will give you these, said the man, holding out his hands. Beans? Beans for my cow? Questioned Jack. Not just any old beans. Magic beans, whispered the man. Magic beans, I'll take them, said Jack. So the man walked away with the cow, and Jack ran all the way home with the magic beans. Mother, look at what I got for the cow, exclaimed Jack. Magic beans. Magic beans? What is their magic? Asked his mother. Jack scratched his head, and he did not know. Beans for our cow? Jack, how could you do such a foolish thing? Cried his mother.
What's a foolish thing?
Something silly and crazy. She took the beans and threw them out the window and sent Jack to bed. The next morning, when Jack awoke to his room filled with large green leaves, the leaves have sprouted from... That's his room right here. He's in bed. See? The leaves have sprouted from the gigantic beanstalk that was growing right outside his window. It reached up into the sky as far as Jack could see. They were magic beans, moved Jack, and he immediately began to climb the beanstalk. Jack climbed and climbed through the clouds until he reached a gigantic castle. Can you find Jack? Good job.
That's the easy part.
It is the easy one. Outside the castle door stood an enormous woman. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, said Jack. I'm so hungry. Could you spare me a bit of breakfast? Can you sit down, please? You want breakfast, do you? She roared. You'll be breakfast if you're not careful. My husband, the giant, is even bigger and taller than I am. He loves to eat boys like you for breakfast. He likes them so much he has them for lunch and dinner, too. She laughed so loudly that Jack's ears hurt. Cadence, how do you know where you're looking?
Because I've studied my hand pretty well.
Okay. Then the giant's wife looked down at poor little Jack and said, Oh, all right, come into the kitchen and I'll give you some sour milk and stale bread. As Jack ate, the castle began to quake and shake and shudder. The giant was on his way home, thumping the ground with his great big feet. Boy, if you don't want to be eaten, go hide somewhere, said the giant's wife. And Jack quickly leapt off the table and did as she did. Good morning, husband. Come into the kitchen and eat your breakfast, said his wife. The giant stalked in, sniffing the air with his great big nose, and roared, Fee, fee, fi, fi, fo, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman, be he alive or be he dead. I'll grind his bones to make my bread. No, no, my dear, said the giant's wife. I think you're still smelling that rascal you ate yesterday. Sit down and eat your breakfast. I'll cook you 2 cows, 12 chickens, and 50 pounds of potatoes. If you don't eat, you'll shrink. I'm Jack.
This is ginormous man into
Where's Jack?
Man.
Good job.
That's the easy part.
Jack watched from his hiding place as the giant sat and ate his breakfast. When the giant finished eating, he took out a sack filled with gold coins and began to count them. As he counted, he began to yawn and soon fell sound asleep. Quietly, Jack crept. Quietly, he crept from his hiding place and tried to lift the sack of coins. The gold was much too heavy. You have to be quiet so you can read. Jack had an idea. He made a cart from buttons, knitting needles, and kitchen string. He heaved the sack of gold onto the cart. He rolled it across the table. Then Jack lowered the sack and the cart to the floor using block and tackle that he made from buttons and more string and needles and 2 bones. Jack wheeled the gold to the beanstalk and dropped the sack down through the clouds to the ground below. You gotta sit up, buddy, or I can't read. Here, sit up. You're not gonna go to sleep, or we're not gonna read. We gotta finish the story for school. Mother, mother, Jack called when he climbed down. Look! Oh my goodness! Now I can fill the cupboard with food, exclaimed Jack's mother. And we can buy some chairs to sit on, and some clothes, and a wagon, and coal for the fire, Jack added excitedly. They lived frugally, but after a time the gold was spent, and Jack decided to visit the giant's castle again. sure he brought the proper equipment. Jack crept silently into the castle and found a hiding place. I smell that rascal who stole our gold husband, said the giant's wife. Just listen. When I find him, I shall have him for supper, growled the giant. Fee, fee, fi, fi, fo, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman, be he alive or be he dead. I'll grind his bones to make my bread. The giant and his wife searched the castle from the highest turret to the dungeon, the deepest dungeon, and they could not find Jack. So they sat down and they ate breakfast. What? My dress is all wet. Great, go shower. Where's Jack? Right there. Okay. After they went through stuffing themselves, the giant said to his wife, "Bring the hen that lays the golden eggs." And when the hen was set in front of him, the giant commanded, "Lay!" And the hen squawked and laid an egg of solid gold. After so heavy a meal, the giant and his wife soon fell asleep. Jack jumped from his hiding place. He took a napkin and he made the hood to cover the hen's head so she would not be frightened. Jack then strapped the bird into the wife's sewing basket. He attached buttons to the basket for wheels and then lowered it to the floor. Jack rolled the basket to the beanstalk and lowered it to the ground and then climbed down himself. Jack and his mother were now very wealthy. No matter how hard he tried, Jack could not stop thinking about the giant and his castle. He decided to climb the beanstalk for a third time. When he arrived at the castle, he hid once again, and in the moment they smelled him, the giant and the wife roared together, "Fee, fee, fi, fi, fo, fo, fum. We smell the blood of an Englishman, be he alive or be he dead. We'll grind his bones to make our bread." But they could not find Jack. And neither can we, because he's very hidden, huh? He's very sneaky.
I didn't bring a camera.
No, we're gonna finish reading, okay? After supper, the giant called for his golden harp. The giant slapped the table and commanded, "Sing, harp, sing!" And the harp gently sang the giant and his wife to sleep. Jack crept up behind the harp and signaled him to be quiet. "Shh, I'll take you to a much more pleasant place to live," he said. And the harp quickly agreed. Jack lashed buttons for wheels to the harp and pulled it toward the beanstalk. On the way, Jack tripped and both he and the golden harp fell. "Ouch!" the harp cried. This commotion woke the giant and his wife. They raced toward the sound and spied as Jack was lowering the harp to the ground. Jack scurried down the beanstalk with the giant and his wife right behind. As soon as they reached the ground, Jack took an axe from his backpack and called, "Mother, mother, come quick!" Together, they quickly chopped down the beanstalk.
The slide!
With a thunderous crash, the beanstalk fell across the countryside into the sea. Both the giant and his wife disappeared beneath the waves and were never seen again. Yes, the evil kitties. Cute. Jack and his mother shared their wealth with the entire town, and everyone lived happily ever after. The end.
At the end.
Cadence.
Mm-hmm.
The end.